Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the account. You probably know that we have exciting news already, as per the title and thumbnail, but we are on the precipice of an S tier Mockman. I abandoned him a few months ago, but I'd say it's time to get him back. And with this new Soul Perfection event, I reckon now is the time. So I have an eclectic assortment of Awakens, 2 Asmodeels, 1 Jara, or I think there's another A- Jara there as well, but that does not matter because it is time. Let's just take the soul power off him just so it's more clean, I suppose. Here he is. Bam. And let's get this trash skin off and give him his main appearance again. And so we're going to go in here. We're going to throw in an A-, the Rogan. And this should actually be the full perfection to the end. The final bar I don't think is going to be a full bar given his soul power capacity. So we're going to throw in the Rogan. 1, 2. That's insane, actually. We got a ton of attack from that. We high rolled the attack. And then we have a little bit more that we need to do. C tier, C tier. What does a B- get me? B-, B-. Good lord, come on. B-. Oh, I need such an ugly amount. There's no way I'm going to be able to get like a satisfying amount of perfection in here, but we'll go for it. Bam. We gain almost 40 attack. We take it. We take that. And now, oh, we exceeded by 1. Oh, that's ugly. But, all right. So here's the way this is going to work. This A+ Mockman will maintain his current role, and he will get an S tier stat at random, the 4th stat at random. And so, I believe there are 33 total. We have those 3 off the board now, and there are 30 stats that we can pull from. We can take a look at those right here. I think if I go to swap, bam, and then the S ones. There are several that I would consider pretty much god rolls that I would love and would not reroll, and I would consider the copy perfect for having it. And these are Stun Immune, Twine Immune, Dazzle Immune at this point. I definitely want one of those. And then Holy Armor would be insane to help with Nova and PvP. Hunter's Focus would be great. I don't necessarily want holy damage anymore because at this point I have a very large pool and it's almost a dead stat, which kind of feels weird to say. Many dead stats. Effective being healed, heal effect, armor break, block, precision, armor, all dead. Damage reduction is capped almost always, so that's kind of dead too. Control precision CI offset would make the copy worse than it is now because I don't want them to taunt. I don't want him to taunt in Void Campaign. Crit I would actually take. I would consider that not dead. That would be beneficial for me. Faction Rule, of course, is dead. Hunter's Focus. I mean, well, I already said that. Hunter's Focus would be great. But so, basically, I will drop a foot pick on the Discord for all to view if I roll Stun Immune, Twine Immune, Holy Armor, or Hunter's Focus. So if I roll one of those 4, there's a 4 in 30 chance that I get that. If I roll that, foot pick for all to view. And we of course have hammers as well to see if we can get something cool. But without any further ado, Jara, 2 Asmodeels. Fiona, Jara, Michelle, Soul Perfection, here we go. Bam. Decent bit of attack. And here we go. And I don't see... Oh, that's nice. I don't... Since it's only 1, I don't see any extra in the bar. And so now I'm not unsatisfied by like a halfway completed bar. Yeah. We got heal effect. That's really unfortunate. But we'll do some hammers. I'm not delusional. I know that I won't get anything good from these hammers because the odds of getting something better than GK Defier skill damage plus a not dead stat, it's bordering on impossible on the hammer by hammer basis. So it would take, I don't know, like it would take like divine intervention at this point to get something better than this. There are like 5-6 rolls that would be better than this. I'm just glad I didn't get control precision or CI offset. Both of those would have made me cry. Now, an interesting question is, will I sacrifice skill damage? And on face value, that's like, no. What are you, stupid? Skill damage is great. Everybody loves skill damage, which is true. Skill damage is a great stat, especially 220 from the Awaken. However, with some skill damage from the Treasure Train and a lot of skill damage from the Sigils, I think I would kind of be okay losing the skill damage because, well, it doesn't turn out to be as much of a damage contribution at this point because, again, I have a semi-significant pool already of it. And so what we're kind of looking at is if we just had 0 skill damage and we went to 220 from this, 220 on top of the 1200 damage that he does with his active skill, that's of course pretty significant. That's like an entire extra 20% damage, about, I think. Yeah, thereabouts. And that's of course insane. But again, as this pool gets diluted, any individual source of skill damage will contribute less and less. And thus, you know, I'm less heartbroken if I have to sacrifice it. And so there are a few rolls that I might sacrifice skill damage for. So if I got Giant Killer, Defier, Stun Immunity, Twine Immunity, that would be the best possible roll, I think, that I could ever hope for on here. That would be utterly insane. Absolute. That would, yeah, like just straight up nonsensical at that point. Will I get it? Absolutely friggin' not. I rolled my S tier the last time I had him for... You gotta be shitting me, dude. What do I do? I don't know what to do. I don't know what's better. Hunter's Focus or Skill Damage. I suspect skill damage is better. Because it's one dead stat either way. Okay, we're keeping the skill damage. Keeping it. Because, I don't know, it's like, what, 8% extra damage still? Will 30% damage count? It's so impossible to tell. I don't know what to do. I'm not going to regret it. I'm not going to regret canceling. Okay. Man. We're getting a ton of Giant Killer rolls, actually, which is pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Usually I don't expect to see it come up that often, but perhaps I just think it's coming up often because it's the ones that I'm looking for. And so it's a bit of like a hindsight bias thing. And then, yeah, all tragic rolls, probably from here on out. But that's okay. That's okay. I hope I didn't make a mistake losing Hunter's Focus. Going from 0 all damage dealt to 30% would probably be better than the skill damage roll at that point, but that is not the situation we have. We have tons of all damage dealt at this point. Mockman especially and I'll show you all of our sources here. It works out to like several hundred all damage dealt. And so I tend to think the 220 skill damage just going to be better. And then, yeah, I'm not overly heartbroken. I know 90, yeah, no thanks. I know 90 hammers kind of feels like a lot, but in the grand scheme of S tiers, it really isn't. One twine, was that like the first twine immunity roll? It's kind of insane. Yeah. Yeah, not very impressive. Sexy S tier. Back on the account, of course, with the dead stat. Not the biggest fan of that, but we can continue re-rolling. Hammers will be fun on the weekly basis. We have a pretty decent attack roll on the whole, I would say. Yeah, I mean, we're just never upgrading this bar. 28 bars is actually insane. Even shoving an S tier in here wouldn't even get us halfway to a full S tier. But that's cool. No complaints from me. I mean, what can you do, right? S tier. Pretty cool. We can what was I saying? Continue rolling for a good quad roll. Not really going to work out at this point. But, somewhere down the line, we could get lucky. And that would be cool. So, S tier SSM back on the account. Love to see it. Perhaps I will look for, what's his soul power capacity? Just for 5110. That's not awful. The max for S is, of course, much higher. It's 6,500, but 55. But 5-1, it's nothing to sneeze at. Attack went up a decent bit already. And I reckon we'll be able to use the full soul power capacity here whenever we have him set up for Void Campaign. So be excited for that. We have Void Campaign Island 13 to take a bite out of. And I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be spectacular. Happy I didn't get Control Precision or CI Offset on here because I would have had to take that Hunter's Focus roll just to get it off my screen. But yeah, not too bad. Excited to keep rolling. Not many rolls are going to be better than this, though, which feels really awful to say because, Oh. Hello, folks. Nice little cameo here. Hello. Something bad happened, it seems. I'm not really sure what it was, but he sent Pepe sad flower, so I'll have to go check that out. But with that, thank you for watching. Look forward to more SSM content. I think I'm going to just absolutely tear through Chapter 13. We need to look at all damage dealt first. So 30% all damage dealt when our pool is, let's try to account for all sources, and you can do the math on your own because I cannot be bothered. Bam. Star Descending. So when he's in his orange stance, increases self all damage dealt by 50. That's 50 right off the bat. Already tons. He likes melodic strings. 50 more all damage dealt. Yep. And then we come on over here. Galactic Tree. We've got a couple star spawns who give that 14% plus 50%, so about 20% from this one. And then we have this one. 9.4% plus 30% for Transcendence Heroes, so that's about 12 more percent-ish. We come over to the Treasure Train. Warrior, any for Warrior, I think there's some, like, practically meaningless amount. All damage reduction, blah, 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 blah. All damage dealt, 2%, there we go. Transcendence Heroes. All damage dealt, 34.5%. And then the bonus here, I think we get some 3% all damage dealt there. Yes, indeed, we do. Void Campaign. I think there's destined to be tons in here. All damage dealt, 69.5. And I'm almost certain that I'm missing at least some sources. But 30% all damage dealt versus the 220 skill damage. I think we made the right call in keeping this instead of the Hunter's Focus roll. And precision is indeed a dead stat, in case you were wondering. I get like 90% precision from Void Campaign treasure alone. Not to mention the enables give a fair chunk as well. So if I missed any sources of all damage dealt, let me know. Call me an idiot. That's cool. But yeah, the point is we have a lot of all damage dealt. And by comparison, not a ton of skill damage. So if we come over here, here's our sigil, 685. So I think by my math, that 220 skill damage is going to work out to give or take 10% in either direction. Give or take a couple percent in either direction, 10% more damage on average. But yeah, we take it. We take it. Oh, here's some 8% all damage dealt there. Okay, but for real now, that's all I got. I don't know where else I get all damage dealt from. I think I did miss some sources indeed, but we'll see. Anyways, have yourselves a lovely day. Thank you for watching. Love you. Bye bye.